A Course in Miracles. Lesson 284. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Loss is not loss when properly perceived. Pain is impossible. There is no grief with any cause at all. And suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. This is the truth at first to be but said and then repeated many times, and next to be accepted as but partly true with many reservations, then to be considered seriously more and finally accepted as the truth. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt, and I would go beyond these words today and past all reservations and arrive at full acceptance of the truth in them. Father, what you have given cannot hurt, so grief and pain must be impossible. Let me not fail to trust in you today, accepting but the joyous as your gifts, accepting but the joyous as the truth. Lesson 284. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. The ballot of light. Electing out of hurt. Lesson 284 speaks in the language of agency, not accident. Elect means the chooser in the mind marks a box, and the world tallies the result. Every painful perception is a campaign ad for guilt asking to be re-elected. Loss is not loss when properly received, because receiving is an act of interpretation, not of taking. Interpretation returns what seeming loss tried to steal by changing the teacher of meaning from ego to Holy Spirit. Pain is impossible because cause is changeless love, and what does not come from cause cannot truly be. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt is not denial of experience, but denial of a false cause. Change the cause in the mind, and the effect in awareness follows, like a concession speech after the count. Here is the Course's ladder of acceptance rendered as an election cycle. First, say the truth. Then, repeat it often as campaign messaging to counter the smear ads of fear. Next, expect reservations and partial belief as undecided voters within the split mind argue their exceptions. Then consider it seriously more and more, holding quiet rallies of willingness where peace can be felt. Finally, accept it as the truth, because it has been tested in experience and found to deliver freedom, not slogans. Common reservations that arise on the way up the ladder. But the body is in pain, so how can pain be impossible? Someone dear died and grief crushes. How could that be causeless? If suffering is a dream, isn't compassion minimized or cruel? Calling pain impossible sounds like denial or bypass. If it's all mind, aren't victims being blamed for what happened? What about trauma that returns without consent? Now the metaphysical replies, brief but surgical. The Course denies false causes, not felt experience. Care for the form while changing the teacher of meaning. Grief is the echo of a belief that love can be broken. Let the echo fade as love is consulted at the source. Compassion deepens when guilt is withdrawn from self and brother, because shared innocence heals, not pity. Denial hides. True forgiveness looks directly and reassigns causation to error in thought, not events in form. Responsibility for sight is not blame for events. It is power to choose a new interpreter right now. Trauma is a memory pattern kept by fear. Bring it to the light repeatedly, and it loses authority to define. A working metaphor for practice today. Enter the voting booth of the mind and notice the ballot with two parties, hurt and help. Under hurt are candidates named guilt, attack, control, and specialness, each promising safety through sacrifice. Under help stand forgiveness, allowance, trust, and shared interest, offering what cannot be lost because it is given. Campaign ads from hurt flash vivid images and catastrophic headlines. If you forgive, you will lose everything. Quiet mailers from help arrive as a felt pause, a soft invitation. Choose me now, and peace is yours without cost. Mark the box in awareness and submit the ballot to the Holy Spirit, the incorruptible registrar of cause. Watch the results in the heart first, then in perception, as the precincts report a swing toward light. If the old regime protests with recounts, symptoms, memories, arguments, let them be counted and released. In this election, the will of God and the will of the Son are not opposed, so the certified outcome is peace. 5-step practice using the acronym ELECT. Examine the thought that hurts and state it plainly. This thought is claiming loss, threat, or lack. Lift it into awareness without defense. Here it is, held in the open where light can touch it. Exchange teachers. I move interpretation from ego to Holy Spirit now. Choose again. I elect the meaning that brings peace, and I will not argue for my hurt. Testify in action. Take the next gentle, sane step that peace gives, however small. Repeat as often as needed. Repetition here is not rote, it is the steady counting of ballots for truth. Micro-ballots for the day. This hurts because I have appointed guilt as my teacher. I elect love now. This seems like loss because I valued form. I elect the content of love that cannot leave. This body sensation is loud. I elect to let peace interpret it and guide any care that is helpful. Prayer of willingness. Father, what you have given cannot hurt, so grief and pain are impossible in truth. Let trust be placed in you today, not in the world's returns, nor in the poles of fear. Let only the joyous be received as your gifts, and let all ballots be counted in the light. Today the mind elects to change all thoughts that hurt, and accepts the peace already given. Somewhere between a whisper and a thought, there's a polling place not found on any map. No lines, no booths, no ink that stains the fingers. Only a quiet space in the mind where every vote still counts. And every ballot cast for peace is counted immediately, by the only registrar that never errs. In this election, there are no losers, because love once chosen wins for everyone. Welcome back to the one place where hurt was never on the ballot of light.